You just feel like you're trying and trying and you're pushing, but then you're not going anywhere.
A 2025 study found that 74% of millennials and Gen Zs feel like they are not what they're supposed to be, especially when it comes to career.
But you see, you cannot think your way out of stuckness.
You made a very valid point. The more important question is, do you truly want to change where you are now?
Yeah.
Because how to change it? Majority of the time, we constantly ask how.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Pillay Place. Are you feeling a little stuck today or lately? If you are, you might want to tune in to this episode, and I think you might find it to be helpful for you. We're going to be talking about how keep being stuck and then getting out of your stuckness. Okay. So let's jump in.
So what do you mean by being stuck?
Well, I think of being stuck as like your wheels are running, but your car is not moving.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Right? Like you just feel like you're trying and trying and you're pushing, but then you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And, but you see, you cannot think your way out of stuckness.
Yeah. Just to kind of hammer the point of what Van's saying, a 2025 study found that 74% of millennials and Gen Zs feel like they are not what they're supposed to be, especially when it comes to career. They wanted to be at a certain place by this age or by a certain age, but they're not there. Mm-hmm. They feel stuck at work. They feel stuck in their career. A lot of folks also feel stuck in their finances, right? Mm-hmm. And those things can be a hindrance. And I appreciate what you just said. You can't think your way out of a stuckness. What do you mean by that?
Well, you can't. Has that ever happened to you where you can like, okay, I'm stuck and I'm going to think about how to get unstuck?
Well, I've noticed that when I am stuck and you know, sometimes it doesn't last, like it's not just 2 hours. Sometimes it lasts like 4 months. But like long story short is if I am stuck, I tend to keep thinking about being more and more stuck.
Well, you're probably thinking about how to get unstuck.
Yeah, but like I don't have
like
the
ways
answer.
And strategies and plans to get unstuck.
But it doesn't really work.
Well, I think it's always nice to have a plan.
Sure.
But the piece that a lot of people tend to miss is the action.
Okay.
Is the movement. You can't get unstuck without movement.
Okay.
And you can't think your way out of stuckness, right? So there are some reasons why you might not know. There might be some reasons why you want to stay stuck.
Tell me more.
Okay. So, because there's always a reason, right? Sometimes it's comfortable where you're at because getting out of stuckness requires movement and requires change. Something has to change.
People don't really always like change.
And people don't like change. I mean, you're very uncomfortable with change. If I have a change of plan, you're like,
I know. I actually get irritated right away.
Yes. And it's also easy to stay put.
Of course. That's what you're talking about, being comfortable.
It's easy to just complain about being stuck.
Yeah.
And getting out of stuckness requires effort.
Sure.
And if you've already learned, so the example I think of is say you're stuck in a jungle. Okay. Yeah. Your initial is, oh my gosh, I got to get out of this jungle. And the jungle can be anything, your job, your relationship, wherever, whatever, right? Yeah. And so you're in this jungle and you know that you don't want to be there. And you know you don't want to be there forever. But you've been in there for so long, you've learned to survive. You learn to adapt in that jungle. You know where all the crazy things are, and you've
Yeah.
learned how to avoid it.
Well, I love the example you just used, relationships, right? Because that's a big one, right? And reality is, no one wants to be stuck in a relationship,
Yeah.
but it's such one of the hardest things to actually leave, because it's kind of like you said, it's like the jungle. You have found excuses and reasons to stay in the jungle. You have convinced yourself that, oh, maybe it's not so bad.
Maybe this person will change.
Maybe this person will change. When
Yeah.
reality is
They don't.
they don't. Yeah, it's you that has to change.
Yeah, it's you that you have to change. I'm sure we have an episode on that somewhere.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, but what, like staying in it actually reminds me of the study. And if you remember the study, if you heard of the study, please put it down in the comments, because I don't remember. And this is like Psychology 101. Okay. And it was, I think they didn't call it Stuckness. It was like a study on like helplessness.
Yeah.
And I think there were like monkeys or something. And they trapped the monkeys in like a cage.
Okay.
And when they touched the cage, it would like kind of shock them.
Yeah.
And I wish I remember the study. It's a famous study, and it's a long, long time ago. But if they touched the cage, it would like shock them. And then eventually they open the door for the monkeys to leave, and the monkeys did not.
Yeah.
And why? Even though being in the cage is being stuck in the cage,
Yeah.
right? And if being in the cage is like you get electrocuted,
Right.
But the monkeys didn't leave. They had to physically remove the monkey out of the cage,
Yeah.
and then remove the monkeys further away from the cage. And some monkeys even ran back in to the cage.
Yeah.
And why is that? It's because we've learned this comfort, even though it's miserable.
Yeah.
We've learned to be comfortable in our environment. It's our ability to adapt.
Right.
But so if you want to get unstuck, you have to physically move, which brings me to, is it John 5? Okay, you're the Bible man.
It's definitely in all three of the main gospels.
Okay, this is the story about the man.
That was paralyzed for 38 years, right? But before we say this, because there's some really good points in there, the biggest thing about Unstuck that I have learned personally is the humility to actually take responsibility,
Yeah.
right? Majority of the time when we are stuck, it's everybody else's fault but yours.
Yes, it's the excuses. It's the, well, it's just the way my boss is. My boss doesn't like me.
Yeah.
The system,
Right.
it's hard to climb up.
The cards are stacked against me, or whatever the reason is. Point
Yeah.
being is, until you actually take responsibility that you're going to change your own future.
You do have, your
It's
destiny.
Your destiny. It's not. Nothing's gonna happen. I mean, that's what.
It's not the responsibility of your boss or the relationship.
Right. Or anyone for that matter. Right.
Yes.
So in the Bible, this man who's paralyzed for 38 years, he's stuck mentally and physically, right? And he's laying by this pool hoping that he would get healing. And Jesus asked him a very important question. He said, "Do you want to get well?" And he said, "Yes, but." And then here comes all these other reasons. And one of the things that I learned in Bible college was, what you say after your but is what you believe more than what you say before the but,
Yeah.
right? So in this instance, right, he's saying, yes, I want to get healed. So there's this pool, it's called the Pool of Bethesda. When the water stirs, he can go and get healing. And Jesus is saying, do you want to get healed? And he goes, yes, but no one is here to help me to get in the water. And every time I get it, I'm trying to get in, someone else gets in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, in like translating to today's language, it would sound like, well, I tried to get better, but I
They don't like me or this or that.
yeah,
And
like
it's
I'm trying to get better, but then there's all these other people that's so much better than me.
yes.
Yeah.
Or whatever the reason is. Mm-hmm. Right?
And Jesus asked a really important question, right? Like he said, do you want to get well?
Yes.
That means the decision is yours.
Correct.
Like you have to make that decision.
Correct.
And then he said, get up, pick up your mat, and walk.
Yeah.
As in, get your booty up and
Well,
And
like
walk.
you made a very valid point. The more important question is, do you truly want to change where you are now?
yeah.
Because how to change it, majority of the time we constantly ask how, right? And Jesus is pointing to the why. The why is, what is inside of you? Do you have the motivation? Do you have enough reasoning?
It's not even the motivation though, because motivation is a feeling. You cannot rely on motivation to get you going. Like,
That's true.
it's like, am I ever going to feel motivated to wash the dishes?
Or
am
go
I
work
ever
out.
going to feel motivated to do
Yeah.
the laundry? No, but it's a commitment. It's a decision that you just have to go and you do it. So a lot of time we go, I just don't have the motivation to find a new job. I don't have the motivation to start this business. The ideas comes, but like I don't have the motivation. Like to me, that's a red flag of
That's a valid point. It's not that you need the motivation to go find a new job.
no.
Do you want to go find a new job?
Do you want to? Right? Do you want to? It's the decision that you have to make.
And if you're honest with yourself, sometimes the answer is no, I don't want to.
Yes, and there's plenty of reason.
It's like when I get sick.
It's for me. It's Dr. Pepper. Not sponsored, but
Do tell.
I love Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
I want to give up Dr. Pepper because all that sugar is probably not good for me.
But do you really want to give
But do
up
I
Dr.
really
Pepper?
want to?
There's more
Man,
benefits to actually
it's like-
stay stuck in Dr. Pepper.
Yes, I mean, ultimately, I would like to, but the decision to say no more Dr. Pepper would be so hard because that would mean
You
I have to
change.
resist.
Yes.
I have to resist saying, I have to constantly say no, and I have to say no all the time to something that I really love, right? And it's, I don't know, I'm kind of off topic now, but I wrote down some reasons to stay stuck, okay? And you're comfortable where you're at.
Well,
Like
I think it really applies. You're not off topic at all.
it's easy. It's easy to just stay put.
Yeah.
It is going to take effort, right?
Yep.
And ultimately, I've learned to survive with Dr. Pepper. I've learned to still fit in my jeans. I've learned to like give up other things, chocolate. I've learned to give up, to eat a little less. I've learned all that just so I can have my Dr. Pepper, right? And sometimes that's it. You have to make is that decision worth it for you?
Yeah.
That the decision and the change worth it for you? And the stages of change, this is very common. It's like the pre-contemplation where you're like, this is not a problem. And yes, it wasn't a problem when I was like 20, and then is it pre-contemplation, contemplation, you're like, well, maybe it is a problem. And that's like, maybe I should reduce the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And then there is the acceptance piece where it's like, oh, shoot, it is a problem. And then there is the planning. And that's where you're planning to actually quit Dr. Pepper. And then the action is the actual doing.
Yeah.
So either way, with any type of change and to get out of your stuckness requires the action.
It does, but it starts, I mean, you made a really valid point. It actually starts in your mind. It's back to that scripture that we talked about where Jesus asked this paralyzed man, do you really want to get healed? Because in Romans 12:2, in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, it says that by the renewing of your mind, right, is where how you actually are able to make a lot of change,
Yeah.
positive change, good change, change that helps you live God's perfect will, right? But in order to make that change, first you need to renew your mind. You
Yeah.
need to do exactly the things that you just said. Well, maybe this is a problem. I will take the responsibility and say, yes, Dr. Pepper is a problem. I will change. Yes, I am willing to change, right? There's a renewal that's needed.
It's and the commitment and decision.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes when we go and do a dramatic change, I'm going to be vegan.
Yeah.
It doesn't last
No.
because you need to take micro actions to prove to the brain that effort does lead to outcome.
Okay.
Right? They're like these little settled changes that you need to like prove to your brain, like have new neural pathways prove to your brain that effort can do this. The stuckness doesn't get you there. Thinking about stuckness, it just carves a deeper pathway
Yeah.
and it validates
Yeah.
your stuckness. It confirms your stuckness, and then it makes you feel more helpless. So for like to close off, if you're looking to like some practical ways to get unstuck, try action-oriented strategies. Little micro action change, little micro actions to prove to your brain that you can do this. If that's, I'm gonna just not buy Dr. Pepper. I'm just not going to order Dr. Pepper when I go out or when I have something very little. And those little changes is what sustains the change. It's not the big change, because oftentimes we can relapse and fall back to to Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
again.
and in closing, what I want to add this. This is something you taught me, and I think you do this with your clients. But essentially, the first question that we ask: do you really want to change? Right? Sometimes
It could be helpful for you too to like write down.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, to write down all the reasons why it's not worth it for you to change.
and write down all the reasons why it is worth it for you to change, and then look at both of them side to side, and that will reveal to you if you really are willing to change.
Yeah, if you're ready for change.
If you're ready for change.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
And if you have any questions, any feedback for us, please let us know. And thanks for joining us.